Okay, for the owner-operators that have you on authority and you need to do your invoicing while you're still on the same trip, come down here and click on the Invoice button. That's going to open up an invoice form. And at the top, you'll see that it automatically loads your information in, your company information. Then the bill to, it's going to be the agent client that you're doing the load for. On down, the invoice record number. Don't pay, this is just for the forms information anyway. It doesn't show on the invoice. The bill and load ID is automatically the trip number for this trip, and then the customer reference number, by default it will put the trip number in there also. If your customer has a unique reference number that they need on this, just back this out and type in what they need here. That's what will work with that. The invoice number. Now this is going to be the invoicing number system here. You will be seeing this and using it. When you first open the form up for the very first one you put in here, it may just show number 1. Then you can, it will, every time you do a new invoice, it will automatically increment up, be number 2, number 3, number 4, and going like that. If you want to start it at a specific number, you can do that also. One thing you can do, or would do, I've seen a lot do, would start the invoice number out with this year, whatever year it is. So say this is 2021, so you could start it out like 20. Just put 21 in there for the last 2 digits of the year, so that way you will know that all of the invoices with starting with them numbers is going to be the year, and then put 3 zeros in there. Start at 2100 right here. Now then, every time you start doing new invoices, it will start incrementing up. It'll be 21001, 002, 03. That way, when you look at the invoice number, you will know that the first 2 digits are for that year. And then, beginning of the next year, just come in here and start it over 22000. So that'd be one thing you can do right there. Now don't put letters or hyphens in here or spaces. Put just numbers, because it needs just numbers right there to do the calculation to increment the numbers up. Okay, down in the line items, you're going to see there's no line items here. They're all blank. All right, there's 2 ways you can do this, and we leave it blank for a reason. One thing, when you do your line items here. Now, another thing I say, when you're doing your descriptions, that's what will show up over here in the description field. But the way you enter in the information over here in the revenue form, you may enter this in just the way you want to see it. You wouldn't want maybe your agent or broker to see it laid out just like you have it here. So we just left this blank. You can just type in the line item description, put in the amount, go to the next one, and do them like that. I mean, you're not going to have a lot of them in there. Maybe 2 or 3 line items, 4 at most, something like that. It don't take you a minute to do it. But you may want them to see it laid out a little bit different than you do it over here in the revenue form. But if you do have this laid out just like you want to show them, no problem. You can click this button here that says import line items, and that's going to import all of them over here just like you have it here. Save you from having to type it all in again. But as you notice, the description, it pulls this description over here. So, but you can come back in here and retype this or add to it or tweak it, whatever you need. But it's going to pull your amounts over. So, I mean, if this is all correct like this, just do it like that. It will automatically bring them over for you. So that's one way to do that. And down in the message here, by default, over in your company profile, remember, you have that default message there. That's what it's going to put in here. If you need to put a specific message, detailed message for this one invoice, you can take this out or just type in whatever you want right here, and it will print out on this one invoice here. Okay, on the due date, as you notice up here, it has 30 days. Due date was up 30 days right here. And it calculated that. You can change this due date anytime you want. Just click this calendar button beside it and go in there and change it. But where that came in at was over in the Utilities Company Profile. Right here, invoice due dates. That was 30 days. So if by default you may want it 15 days or 20 days or 10 days, just change it right here, and then the next time you do an invoice, it will automatically put that in there for you. Let me move these back around. You can have multiple windows open here at the same time. But if you need this one invoice at a different date, just go in there and change that due date on that. Okay, once you do all of this, there's some options you can have right here. You can say print invoice. No, that was the envelope right here. If you do snail mail, you have the number 9 envelopes, you can put your envelope in your printer and click that print envelope, and it's going to print out your address and their address, and you can stick the invoice in there. So that's print invoice right here. Print invoice, open this up. It's going to show you the invoice that you're going to print out right here. So that's everything. You can either print it, a hard copy out, or you can save it as a PDF file. And it pulls everything up. And as you notice too down here, it don't show an invoice form, but it gives you some more detail. It says pickup date and the delivery. That's going to always show the first pickup and the last delivery date where they went to. You may have multiple pickups, multiple drops, but it's going to show your very first one and your last one right here. To give you more detail, when they get it, they will know, where it went to, where it picked up, and where it delivered to. You can email this invoice. If all you need to send them is just a copy of this invoice, click invoice button, email invoice. It's automatically going to put their billing email in here. It's going to put the subject automatically, the load number. You can change this if you need to, and it's automatically going to attach that PDF file invoice to it. So you just type in a message right here and click send email, and it's going to send them a copy of just this bill of lading or this invoice right here. All right, another thing you can do. Say you need this invoice and you need the copy of the signed bill of lading and maybe another document, and you need to email all of that to them at one time. So what you can do there is, you see this button that says send invoice to load docs. That's going to send a copy of this invoice over here and put it into the load documents. And then you can scan your other documents in here with it. So let me show you how that works. Just click this send invoice. And you notice it opened up the document form and it automatically put the document or the invoice in there. So let me close this. I'm going to open this back up now, the load documents. And this is the first record you had scanned in there. Look up here, it says record 1 of 2. Click number 2, and there's that invoice. So there's a copy of that invoice. Now if you had a copy of the signed bill of lading or any other paperwork that you want to put in here, to keep from having to email separate emails, you can put them all in this one file, because this saves it as a PDF file. So you're on this record right here. What you'll want to do is add file or add page from file. So if you have another PDF file on your computer and you want to add it to this one, you would do that. Or if you just had a copy of the signed bill of lading and you need to scan it in with this, click add page from scan. Then it's going to scan it into this, and this is going to be one PDF file with multiple pages. So then all you have to do is click email and subject message, and there's that one PDF file you're going to email them, and all 3 or 4 pages are going to be in one email. So that's how you would do that. You can send, if you wanted this to be a rate quote. So if you're just putting this in, you're just putting in some information here, you need to send somebody a rate quote. Up here at this check mark or check box, you will see rate quote. All right, that changed this to rate quote. If you print an invoice, now you're going to see right here that it says rate quote. And down at the bottom, rate quote agreement signature. So you can email this to them, they agree on it, they can sign this and email it back to you. So that's just the rate quote. Now once you get the load and you're ready to invoice them, just take that check mark out. That turns it into an invoice. So open that, and now it says invoice, and that signature is not down there. This is just a straight invoice. Now then, once the load is paid, you will see the paid button here. So now it turns it into a receipt. It marks it paid, put your paid date in here, and you may want to send them a thank you courtesy paid invoice. Click print. Now this is just a receipt, paid receipt, and that makes it a paid receipt. So it's just putting in these check marks in each one of these fields are going to change that. But once these invoices are paid, you can put paid and put the date in there, and they will mark paid. So that is the invoicing for the program.